This is Note-Taking Guide 1.3 for Mathematical Decision Making for Life. So we're going to get started and learn about average pay today. All right, Trisha earned these amounts for 5 days that she worked last week. Monday, she earned $82, Tuesday, $91, Wednesday, $96, Thursday, $80, and Friday, $86. What was her average pay for the 5 days? So what did you guys say we were going to do with all the numbers?
Add them all up.
Yeah, add them all up, and then what are we going to do? Yeah, because there's 5 numbers here, we're going to divide by 5. So just to write out what you would be doing, and you guys can just punch it in your calculator while I'm writing it out. But we add those numbers up, and then we're going to divide by 5 because there's a total of 5 numbers there. So when you did that, what did you get? $87 even, right? Okay, I want you to take a minute, and I want you to think, does that number make sense? Does $87 make sense with those other numbers? It does, right? That's how you're going to kind of check your work to make sure that you're in the right ballpark. Because if you would have got $870, would that have made sense? No, because it's so much bigger than the other numbers. Or if you would have got like $17, would that have made sense? No. So it's a good idea to check your work by just thinking, does it make sense with my other numbers? Okay, example 2. Valerie earns $18,000 per year as an assistant manager at a local store. Find her average pay per hour to the nearest cent if she worked 37.5 hours for 52 weeks. So we're going to find her average pay per hour. So she makes $18,000 per year. So I want to go from per year to per week. Is that okay if we go per week first? So I want to go to per week. So I got to divide by the number of weeks that there are. So how many weeks are there? 52. So divide that, and that will give me her pay per week. Just shout it out at me when you get it.
346.15.
Great. Somebody else get that same number just so we can verify it's correct? Thank you. Okay, now this is her pay per week. So how are we going to figure out how much she gets per hour?
We divide it by how many hours she works.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to divide by 37.5, and that will give us per hour.
923. Wow.
Woo! That's a good job. 923. Actually, we should have known it was going to be a fairly low amount per hour when you're only making $18,000 per year, right? Yeah, you definitely want a job that pays better than that. Okay, questions on this problem?
Nope.
Okay. Next one. Brandon sells t-shirts at the beach. During the first month, we have a lot of people selling t-shirts at the beach in these problems. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like the third guy selling t-shirts at the beach. But Brandon sells t-shirts at the beach. During the first month of the season, he earned $600. In each of the next 3 months, he earned $1,050 per month. In the last month of the season, he earned $180. What was his average earnings per month for 5 months? So 5 months, and it looks like they only gave us 3 numbers, but did you catch that they said there was 3 times that he made $1,050? So we actually are going to do 600. We're going to go 1,050, 1,050, 1,050, and 180. And then we're going to divide it by 5. You guys, is there an easier way I could have wrote those 1,050s? Anybody know? Could I go on 3 times 1,050
Yeah.
and have it be the same thing? I could have done that if I wanted to make the math a little bit simpler. All right, so add those together, divide by 5. That's going to be our average pay. 786. Did someone else get that to know that we're right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, questions on how we did that?
Nope.
All right. Now we're going to go backwards a little bit. So this one's a little bit more complicated, but it's still just some arithmetic and algebra. So let's read through this. It says, the weekly pay of 4 picture frame assemblers in a company averages $433. Did you hear this, that it said it was the average, right? Before we were finding the average, this time they gave me the average. So I know whatever I'm doing is going to be equal to 433 because it is the average. T. Right here. All right, so let's finish reading that and see what we're going to do from there. So it says the weekly pay amounts of 3 of the 4 employees are $400, $410, and $460. So we know we're doing 4 employees, right? But they only gave me 3 numbers. They gave me 400, they gave me 410, they gave me 460, and I gotta find the last guy that I'm gonna call X. Does that make sense how I set that up? Like the average problems we've been doing, but we're looking for that missing guy's salary. Okay? So then it just becomes a matter of solving this equation. Well, I don't like looking at these 3 numbers right there as 3 separate numbers, and it's addition. So can we just add those 3 together and get it to be one nice number? I'm going to rewrite this as we do that. So 433 equals, how much was this? Is it 1270? 4, 8, 12, right? So 1270. I still have plus X, and I still have divided by 4. Now, if you remember anything about solving algebraic equations, we always try to isolate the variable. So I like to cover up the variable, and then it shows me what I have to get rid of first. If I cover up the variable and what it's attached to, I have to get rid of the 4. How do I get rid of divide by 4? Yeah, times it. Good. So we're going to times both sides by 4. Now I'm doing it on this side to get it to cancel, so it's gone on this side. So on this side I have just 1270 plus X. And on this side, when I multiply that 433 times 4, what do I get? 1732, is that what you said? Thanks. So the last step then to get X all by itself is going to be to do what? Yeah, subtract the 1270. And when we do that, what's our X value going to be? 462. Does that number make sense with our other numbers? Yeah, it's right there in that same ballpark, isn't it? So 462 for the answer for that one. Questions on how we worked that one backwards? All right, you guys, 2 more to go. We got this. Example 5. A clothing designer earned these amounts in 4 consecutive months. $2,400, $3,200, $1,500, and $1,700. What is the average monthly earnings for the last 4 months? So this is really just a simple add them all together, divide by the number of numbers there are again. So we're going to add 2,400, 3,200, 1,500, and 1,700, and we're going to divide by the number 4. So just punch those in your calculator, divide by the number 4, and what did you get when you did that? 2,200. Thank you. Questions on how we did this one? All right, this next one then is a work backwards one again. So let's see if we can tell that when we're reading it. It says your daily pay for the first 4 days of the week was $68, $80, $75, and $79. How much do you have to earn on the 5th day? So are you seeing we already know we have 68 plus 80 plus 75 plus 79 plus whatever it was we earned on the 5th day. We know we're going to be dividing by 5 because there's 5 days of pay. And then what does it tell me that the average is going to be? $77 a day. So I know this is going to be equal to 77. So again, just like we did on the other problem, I want to simplify the top of this fraction first. So I want to add those all together and get it to be just one number. And what do you get on the top when you do that?
302.
Thank you. 302. And I still have plus X. And I still have divide by 5. So just like last time, you guys, we're going to isolate by getting rid of that bottom number. How do I get rid of a divide by 5? I multiply by 5. Over here it cancels to just 302 plus X. And on the other side I have 77 times 5, which is 385. And then the last step is to subtract that 302. And my X value is 83. Which again makes sense with my start of my numbers up here. It makes sense with the range it should be in.